Resuming.
Hi, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you, in this very moment. How about you?
I am also doing well, and welcome to Two Women Healing Out Loud with Dawn and Melissa, or Melissa and Dawn. We're going to get started with a small grounding exercise and then get into our topic of the day.
So thank you. So what I would like us to do is start with, I usually do the three breaths with my hands on my heart. It's a pretty simple technique. It especially helps with anxiety or feeling stressed, and it gets you grounded into this moment. So here we go. We're going to take in some deep breaths in, and I try to hold for a count of 5, and then I let go. You want to do at least 3 to 4 of these. In, hold, release. Another deep breath. One more deep breath in. Slowly come back to the room. Wiggle your toes and your fingers and open up your eyes. How'd that go for you?
It went nice. I think I held my breath on like the second inhale too long because I don't know. I just got caught up in holding my breath, and then I'm like, and then I hear you say inhale, and I'm like, wait, I haven't released it.
So again, it's up to all of us watching, however hold, I know sometimes I hold a 7 to 9.
Yeah.
It
I
seems like
think
the
it's just go
beginning
at
of
your
it,
own pace.
yeah, go at your own
Whatever
pace.
works for you. Yeah.
So the whole idea is to get yourself more here instead of out there.
Yes. And grounding and bringing ourselves into our body is so important. Melissa, so I just wanted to remind everybody, this is Melissa and I'm Dawn. I am from Empowerment Evolution, and Melissa, you are from,
Place to transform.
and both of us are, I guess you could say, lifestyle coach. You're a transformative coach, right? And I am
Mm-hmm.
also a women's empowerment coach. And we do some one-on-one private sessions with people, but we're also kind of trying to get this kind of podcast type thing up off the ground, and we'll see how that goes.
So we're doing things a little different today. We're not going to do the reader and we're not going to do the journaling. Although, if you watch the previous videos, you can get some ideas on how you can do that. With that being said, we will continue the topic and the theme of self-worth.
Yes, I love that. And also, if you're watching this and you really enjoyed that journaling or you really enjoyed the reader, please let us know down in the comments because we can
hmm
always do separate shorter videos for those as well.
It sounds good.
So going
So
back to self-worth, where
here
were
we
we?
go. Okay, so we're on my own standards. Ooh, would you like to talk about or ask what the question is?
Yeah. So, what would you
Ah,
say your spiritual needs are when it comes to your own standards around the topic of self-worth, Melissa?
okay. Well, I would say I'm a meditator, so 10 to 20 minutes twice a day. And with that being said, I shut the door, I close the blinds, I face west, I sit, and I just let go of anything that's coming into my mind, and I release the stress and
Do you listen to music or do you just go complete silence?
complete silence.
And how would you say that is helping you with your self-worth journey?
I would say it is a big piece of my self-worth journey because it helps me to stay more grounded and more centered and calm because I
Mm.
had gone through anxiety issues before, and I would get triggered by something and I would get anxious and start I realized I'm holding my breath and not really here, but somewhere else.
Would you say that taking that 10 to 20 minutes a couple times a day has helped to heal your nervous system?
I would say so. And there's all this research that shows that that helps, that it actually brings down your heart rate. It brings in melatonin. There's all this wonderful research behind it. So that's helpful. That's a plus.
Absolutely.
So that would be one of the things that I do. What about you? What else, what do you do?
For my spiritual needs, when it comes to self-worth, I would have to say that meditation or chanting, and I'm not talking
Mm-hmm.
about like crazy chants out into that have really spiritual significance, as much as just making a deep vibratory guttural sound in my body. And I
Mm-hmm.
found that both of those have really helped heal my nervous system.
Mm. Very
So,
important.
yeah, and here's the thing. How does healing your nervous system correlate with self-worth? I think it's some of it. You'd have to do some scientific research or do some reading on it, but my personal opinion on this would be that
Mm-hmm.
if I can learn to slow down and calm down and come back into my body,
Mm-hmm.
if I can learn to be comfortable in my own body, it does begin to raise my self-worth more naturally because the
Mm-hmm.
parts of me that were so fragmented and frazzled, always wanting to go and do and perform and please and be what the world needed me to be,
Mm.
I didn't even know who I was. So how could I have self-worth? And so, yeah, that for me, that's what it does for
Wow.
me. It brings me back into myself.
Oh, wow.
What do you think?
Excellent. Wow, I think you're right on, right? I think it's so important to gosh, I think for anybody, pay attention to what works for you. And
Mhm.
it's going to be different for all of us. And we've talked about this before, maybe going out and walking is like having a mindful walk. Maybe that will do the same thing. So it all depends. I was wondering what else you had written down. I have many quiet breaks during the day. I have walking barefoot. I don't know about right now, but time in the garden, time in the garden, and that's always that helps me to ground, and it helps me because it helps my self worth because I'm doing what I love, which
Mm.
also adds to that.
And so, because you love being out in the garden, it's
Mm-hmm.
honoring a part of you, which is going
Mm.
to naturally raise your self-worth. I
Yes.
didn't put garden down, but I did put nature.
Mm.
And I also put, that time to reflect and speak to God.
Mm-hmm.
And just, I'm a very loving person by nature when I'm in my more healthier aspects, when I'm in my balanced mode. I'm just a
Mm-hmm.
very loving person.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
there's people who know me from my past who might say, I didn't know that version of you.
Right.
But
Well.
as I continue to heal, I notice that going out into nature, it's a gift to myself. It's something I
Mm-hmm.
never really experienced growing up. I'm not saying my stepdad didn't try to get me out to go golfing and out to go play tennis and stuff, but those were like I was competing athletically. I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just enjoying actual just sitting next to a beautiful tree and just being.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a gift to myself. And I think that's starting to help my mind or subconscious feel like I'm honoring myself. So what about for
Yes.
you?
Oh my gosh, that's so that resonates for me. Just the very idea of gosh, taking time to read and sit still and journal, that's a big one. But for me, it's reading spiritual material
Mhm.
and then journaling and then reading it. So that's also part of my self-worth journey. And praying, I give myself time to pray.
Mm. You know, I want to stop on that one because not everybody is a big prayer.
Right,
Some people do just connect more to their
right.
creator just through nature or
Hmm.
maybe through reading or something. But do you think like when you're praying or meditating or connecting with God, do you think um that naturally increases your self-worth because as you integrate more aspects that God is love. We know God is love, and so as we integrate more of that and we form a deeper bond, that it naturally just starts to come.
I think so. That's what it's felt like for me. I feel like the praying for me is not kind of a traditional praying, but the praying for me is really sitting quiet long enough to talk with source. I call source. I saw, the God of your understanding, right? According to 12 steps. But it's giving yourself time to talk and giving myself time to listen.
That's the
It
thing. I
definitely
remember for
helps.
most of my life when I was in my uh pre-healing phase, I guess I'll call it, I never just sat and I
Mm,
wasn't comfortable with myself. Even if I could sit, if I had a day off, I couldn't. I had to go to the bar. Had to go be doing
busy. Hmm.
and I realize now as I've started to slow down and just find peace and that's when I feel closest to God. So
You
again, I
exactly right. That's exactly for me as
and
well.
I use different
Yeah.
terminology for the God of our understanding, and the reason
Hmm.
is I'm more of an omnist. I really honor
Hmm.
all paths. I believe all
Hmm.
paths kind of bring us home. So you may hear me use I call it God source. I call God creator, Takanshila, all different names sometimes. So
That's perfect.
yeah.
It's really helpful to hear that, especially people that are watching to know that, it's different for all of us, isn't it?
Yes. And I love that you call it the creator source because, I mean, honestly, if you really break it down, it's the source of everything, the source of the beginning, the source of all
Mm,
creation.
that's what it
So,
feels like for
yeah,
sure. It took a
yeah,
while to get there. I was really upset with the God of my understanding for quite a long time because things as a child that were happening. Could understand why God would allow that. But see,
mm,
I did more work around that, and I realized this is all happening for us, not to us.
right.
It might be hard to understand that right
I
now.
I think it is because I'm going to tell you, there was a time when people used to say they were probably obviously way more awake than I was at that time, or enlightened, or whatever word you want to use. And they would be like, "We are God." And to me, I'm like, That's blasphemy. How can you say that? Because I still had this version of God sitting up in a throne and placing
Mm-hmm.
judgment on everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to say whether that's right or not wrong. I'm just here to say that I have come to know a different version now, a more expanded version,
More loving God.
a more loving God. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I agree with you on that.
Now, did you have anything else to add on this?
No, well, I would like to know what are some of your limitations when it comes to your standards
Oh,
as
I can
far
see
as
better.
pertaining to your self-worth? What are limitations that you
Um,
have, and do you accept them?
I do now. I do, and it took a while. I would say I'm kind to myself, and I don't even want to call them limitations, although it says that here in the book. But opportunities. I'll see limitations and opportunities to pay attention to what's happening and how I can grow from the situation. I don't know if that makes sense, but looking at, gosh, accepting where I'm at in the moment, and if it feels funky or there's that word again, or if it's just kind of I feel off, then I know the techniques or the strategies or practices that I can use. Walking barefoot, for instance. That's just sitting down and taking the deep breaths. I also recognize and realize, when I get down or I'm down on myself, and then, I realize that I ask myself these general questions, and what is it? What am I feeling right now, or what am I smelling right now? What's in my visual? So, because if I am sensory overload, that could be a reason why I'm feeling limited at the time. I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it
Feeling
absolutely makes
overwhelmed.
sense. It's very
Hmm.
telling because anybody who's experienced like anxiety or just like you said, overwhelm or maybe autism spectrum or any of these sensory type
Hmm.
uh diagnoses, sometimes you have to be able to just stop and say, okay, what's triggering? Sometimes it might just be the tag on the back of my shirt, and it's been driving me nuts all day. And
That's
it's now
exactly
I'm to
right.
this point where I'm like, ah. I know that sounds crazy that it's so,
No,
I
it
don't use the
happens to
word
me.
crazy in a bad term. I'm just saying it sounds out there that
Yeah.
something so simple, but you're right. If you just stop and say, okay, what am I feeling? What am I experiencing right now? What am I smelling?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I've been watching the computer or my phone too much today, so I'm just
Right.
overstimulated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really, so those are some of your limitations.
Mm-hmm.
And
What about you? What about some of your curiosities or examples of things that you can look at? How, however you want to use that word, limitations.
so, okay. So again, I know you don't like to use the word limitations, but for the sake of this question,
That's right.
we'll use that word until I like how you said curiosities, but because
Yes.
curiosities is definitely more open. It's like, okay, I've got
Mm-hmm.
something going on here. Let me be curious about what it is instead of being so I'm limited and blocked. And
Mm.
so there definitely is a difference in the words there. So we'll use the word curiosity then. We'll change it now. I like that.
Okay.
So some of my curiosities are, I am challenged with my physical body right now.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you know me and know that I went through back surgery last year and it caused partial paralysis. Pretty much took my whole left leg for a few months. Then I slowly started getting a little bit of feeling back. And now I'm back up to walking
Mm-hmm.
without a cane and I'm doing much better, but I am still 60% damaged in that leg, nerve damage. So for me, that is something
Mm-hmm.
that kind of does affect my self-worth. Um, I feel like it's challenging because I'm 53. I would like to be in a different body. But also, I try to look at it like, well, Donna, if you want a different body, you have to create that different body.
Mm-hmm.
And so right now, you just need to work within your abilities, work with what you have, and just continue to try to grow out of the kind of the container that
Ah, there
I'm
you
currently
go.
experiencing.
Okay. I like
Working real
that.
hard not to use the word
Yeah,
limitation,
I
the L
know.
word
Even
right
though,
now.
it's funny because we've talked about the power of words and how we like to change some of these things in here. So, you want to go to the next question, or do you feel like that we went over that?
No, no,
Do
that's
you accept them? I mean, I guess that's the thing. Are we accepting these
I
curiosities?
I kind of went through this up and down
Mm-hmm.
journey of accepting it, and which actually really took a toll on my mental health for a while. It's like at one minute I was strong and it's okay, I can
Mm,
get through this, and I'm not going to believe anything the doctors tell me. I choose to believe I'm going to heal, and then it would be like, oh my gosh, my life is over. What can I do? I'm going to be stuck on
mm,
disability forever, and then so I really in the last 14 months have just gone in this up and down um journey, but
wow.
ultimately I am so much stronger now and I
Yes.
yes, I can accept where I'm at. If this
Mm-hmm.
was how I had to be the rest of my life, I can accept it.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think that's where I'm going to be the rest of my life. I know it's going to get better. So,
Awesome. That's a good attitude. I mean,
yeah.
I really appreciate that. Oh, well, I mean, what do we have next year? We have how.
How can I learn to sit quietly in the middle of an outburst and remember that the accusations made against me may not be facts?
Hmm. This
What
can
did
be
you put
challenging.
when you answered that?
Well, that's a good one, isn't it? Because we've all experienced that, haven't we?
Hmm. Hmm. And in pertaining to how it affects your self-worth, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that can be a
Mm-hmm.
big thing. So, how are
Right.
you learning to sit quietly?
Ah, that's interesting. Well, I say this can be challenging at times. I realize that when others are upset, it's often more about them and their fears, etc. Um, I don't take the bait. I can stand firm in my convictions and strengths and try my best to listen to the messages and not personalize them.
That's huge right there. Not
Ah,
personalizing what other people are saying or hurling at you. Um,
mm-hmm.
that takes a lot of practice to get to that point, and it takes a strong sense of character to be able to say, well, that's probably what they're going through in this moment, and I don't have to absorb that.
Right. It took a while for my hubby, the person I live with for quite a few years now, for him to understand that when there was an argument or a disagreement and there was a looping going on his part, I would just say I'm gonna take a break from this conversation and I'll come back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
And I remember how upset it would make him.
Probably because he was in the mood to tango.
Mm-hmm. And
When you're in the mood to tango and your dancing partner walks away, it's like
no,
you're
thank you.
alone on the dance floor.
It used to really, he would get so upset, and he realized it took a few years, but then he realized, oh, that's why you do it, because he started studying more about Buddhism and started studying more about suffering and attachments and all that. And I said, yeah, that's exactly right, because when somebody's upset, there's not much of a conversation able to be happening at that point.
There isn't really because
Mm-mm.
unless you're dealing with two people who are in the present moment, pretty good, grounded, and
Mm-hmm.
really pouring into each other, this is why you can have a conversation with somebody and they'll be like, "Oh, we talked about that. I have no idea." They don't remember because they weren't fully present. They weren't really there. Or if you're talking to somebody hot-headed, they're going to hurl out things that really are just their emotions, but they haven't
Mm.
really put the proper word on those emotions, so they're just throwing stuff out.
What
Yep.
about you? Did that resonate for you?
So, yeah, for me, I definitely, originally when I answered this question, I put breathing and contemplation and trying to see the other side's perspective,
Mm,
understanding that we all have our own views, and that's still part of it, but as I've
yeah.
continued on, I'm starting to realize how do I navigate outbursts, whether it's me wanting
Mm,
to outburst or somebody else. And I'm feeling that the more accurate answer for me today would be coming back into my body. So for me, that process is if you,
mm-hmm,
let's just say you were yelling at me, which I doubt would ever happen, but let's just say
mm-hmm,
you were yelling at me for me to instantly go, oh, whoa, 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 I feel that in my
mm-hmm.
heart. Oh, that's a tightness I
Oh.
feel in my heart. Oh, it's making me, it's, okay. I feel my breathing becoming more shallow. I feel
Mm,
so I'm literally just pulling myself into my body and paying attention to where I feel it.
mm,
I describe how I feel it in my head, and then I go, okay,
mm-hmm,
okay.
mm-hmm,
So what's being said is triggering me. It is
mm-hmm,
upsetting me. Or maybe it's not even upsetting me, but I'm responding to it. And then I just kind of have to keep asking myself, okay, listen, what are they saying and why is it
mm,
affecting your body so much? Because I'm finding that probably 75% of what I get upset about has nothing to do with this interaction here. It's
mm,
past stuff
mm.
that's subconsciously being triggered.
Oh, that's
So yeah.
very fascinating to me. Very
Hmm.
fascinating to me because and the other thing is talking about the facts here.
Hmm.
Differentiating between what's factual and what's emotional and all that. I mean, you don't have to decipher it, but you can just really listen. Basically, for me, is when somebody's upset, not just my husband, is what is it that they're asking for, or what is it that they're trying to really say,
Hmm.
and to really just sit and listen to what they're, and then ask clarification questions.
I love that you said that because I was actually running a group this week, and that was one thing that I asked the group of people I was working with, and I said, "How do we know if somebody says something to us and we're not sure if they're being mean or rude, or if we're taking it the wrong way?" Because some of us that
Mm,
have been through these traumatic situations or have a past of maybe abuse or domestic violence or whatever we've been through,
yes.
sometimes we can kind of like I don't know, personalize it like we just talked about.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
how do you know? And literally nobody knew how to answer. They go, actually, how do you know? And I'm like, you ask them. If you walked in and said, oh, nice shirt, but you said it in such a way that I thought, is she being rude or did she mean? Literally all I have to do is go, I'm not sure how that made me feel. Were you
Mm,
trying to be mean? Or you can just say, what do you mean? That simple. And then you're literally throwing it back on them and they have to. Or this is
thank
one
you.
we came up with. You can say, what did you say? And then if they were trying to be mean, now they have to
Mm,
eat it.
mm. That's, yeah. Oh, could you say that again? I didn't hear everything you
Yep.
said.
Can you say that again?
That's very
Literally, it does.
nice.
So you clarify, you just ask questions.
You can say thank you.
Yep. Or you could just choose to say thank you, but the reason that doesn't work for me if I'm unclear is now I'm
Mm-hmm.
shoving down a feeling of uncertainty. Now I'm shoving
Uh-huh.
down a feeling of,
Mm-hmm.
oh, what if they were making fun of me? And now I've got to
Yeah.
now that continues to rotate in my
Fester.
brain and get bigger and bigger and
I
bigger.
I appreciate that. And yeah, I could see that's a good point. I'm glad that you brought that up. That's a good example.
So I think just saying, I'm sorry, what'd you say? You could say it like that. What'd you say? Literally. And then they go, nice shirt. And you're like, oh, okay,
Oh,
thank
okay.
you. Because maybe they were thinking of something else when they said it.
That's
And
very nice. And see, like just talking about this and talking about this out loud is going to help other people watching. So
yeah,
that's really cool. Are you ready for the next question, or did you want to
sure.
bring? Okay, so what were the times? So this is a good one. Were the times in my life when I experienced the most self confidence? Do you want to share first?
So for me, I've kind of had the up and down journey of self-confidence too, but I always noticed my self-confidence is strongest when number one, I am working on myself in some form. So whether I'm reading self-help books, whether I'm going to the gym, trying to eat better, or just some type of self improvement. And the
Mm-hmm.
other is when I am bold enough to say what I'm feeling.
Mm-hmm.
When I go through situations that kind of shut me down a little, I become less bold. And then I notice my confidence starts to wither. But
Mm-hmm.
my confidence is pretty good when I'm speaking my mind and just saying what's on my mind. What about you?
Mm-hmm. Gosh, it also really it's helpful when you're talking with someone who is a clear communicator and a
Hmm.
caring communicator. Like when we communicate, we have ideas and we're able to share it with each other. And it's wonderful when you have that.
Yes, I agree.
So,
So,
what
yeah, what
about
about
me?
you? When did you
Ah,
experience the most self-confidence in your life?
huh. Well, being on the tennis court and slamming down a backhand.
Ooh, a
Because I
good
was on a
tennis
tennis team for a
backhand.
little bit,
Yes.
and that was kind of fun. But that backhand was a double-handed backhand, and that was my favorite thing to do. So
Oh, I
that
love
brought,
that.
yeah, that helped the confidence level. Gosh, giving talks and people being there to listen to me talk, and we've shared about that before. Also, finishing my master's degree, I almost dropped out a few times, and there was talking about having a connection with God's source. There was these conversations that were happening between me and source, and that's what kept me going.
What would you say it was about doing that backhand, though? Or what was it about that experience or that time in your life or just that action that gave you self-confidence?
It's just a matter of just gosh, it felt like, oh, I'm capable, I'm able to take care of things. I look at this, practice makes perfect. I mean, this is what I kept hearing was, practice, practice, practice. So that's what I brought into
So
my
was there
practice.
an element of I've put in all this hard work and now this is the result of my hard work and this gives me confidence?
Got it.
I love that. So I do think
Hmm.
that that is a huge thing with human beings, whether we want to admit it or not, that
Yes,
when we are working towards something and we start to see the reward from that, we start to see the result, we start to feel amazing.
exactly.
I
It's
actually
like, oh, go ahead.
I actually just spoke about that in a video I did earlier that a lot of people, in my opinion, this is just Dawn's opinion, and it doesn't make it fact at all. I think people in this world have confused success with reward. And what
Mm-hmm.
I mean by that is a lot of people think, hey, I work hard, I get all this money, and now I buy a fancy house or a fancy car. I'm successful. And I disagree.
Right.
I think you have achieved a reward for your actions, which,
Mm,
yeah, that makes you feel good or maybe even makes you look good if that's what's important to you. But to me, success is the act of working towards something and getting up and actually doing it. So to me, that's
Exactly.
what success is.
That's exactly right. The other thing is this gradual, slow losing between 1 to 3 pounds a week for the last 2 years. And that's what I've been doing. I've been doing the slow go,
And
doing the
that's
walking every other
success.
day, and that's success because now I'm 23 pounds lighter.
Because, and you're looking amazing, by the way, but you are devoting to yourself. You are getting up and continuing. And that doesn't, not to say you don't have cookies every now and then, but you are continuing to work towards something. And to me, that is the definition of success is
Yes.
not giving up on ourselves.
Not giving up and
Mhm,
keep going. It's been a couple
mhm.
of years. I have about 15 more pounds to go. And, to me, it's like, Thanksgiving, tiramisu came onto the plate and so did the pumpkin pie. And I stopped after about 3 days straight of eating that. And my pants started getting a little tight. And I said, I'm going to take a break from sugar for the next couple of days. Well, I took a break from sugar for the next 3 days.
Good for you.
And so now I'm back to sweetened fruit, raisins, and then I have a little bit of protein in my little bowl right here. It's a good snack for people who are wanting a little protein and a little bit of sweet. There you go. Golden raisins, black raisins, and peanuts.
I love that. I love that. Um, so yeah, I love that, Melissa. I love that how we work towards something, and when we see the result of it, that is actually going to help us increase our self-worth. What would you say are some of the things that make you feel really proud of yourself?
Ah, oh gosh, how I can self-soothe when conflict arises. Now, I didn't used to be able to do that. How I'm able to eat well, sleep well, and let go of things that aren't mine. Taking good care of my mental, physical, spiritual self. Planting seeds of new opportunities, and not running away from intimate relationships that are good for me.
Mm. And how does it affect your self-worth when you are following through with those things?
Mm. Just feel adult. I feel mature. I feel grounded, grateful. Yeah, grown up, capable. Yeah.
So I've noticed you've said capable a couple times in a couple of your answers. And
Mm.
so that makes me wonder if somewhere in your past, that might have played a role in some sort of wounding for you, where maybe you were told you weren't capable or made to feel you weren't capable or made to
Mhm.
feel less than. Is that is that possible?
Oh, yeah, that's possible. For the longest time, I was told I was too much or that, to be quiet because you're too much. And I took it serious. I took it literally. I mean, I really didn't talk until I was about 5.
Hmm.
So, and then when I went through school, though, I have such a different kind of way of thinking about life and how I learn. And I'm a multifaceted person, and I learn best by seeing it back, and I go backwards. And also I tap into the Akashic field, but this is a whole another video for another time. But so a lot of teachers couldn't teach me, or they weren't capable of teaching me. There's that word, it keeps coming up. So there's a theme of just feeling like other people kind of foisted up their insecurities or their inabilities to help me. Then I transformed it because I felt like there was something wrong and I wasn't capable, but it was really the teachers that were not able to teach me very well.
And that makes sense. I really believe that a great many of us as children took on the projections or the actions of
Mm-hmm.
teachers, family members, parents, siblings, that we were looking up to because, your first 7 years, you're such a sponge and you're
Right.
absorbing and you're literally being programmed like a computer.
Mm-hmm.
And so for a lot of us, we took on those feelings. I took on a feeling of not feeling worthy of love. I took on a feeling of
Mm-hmm.
never feeling good enough, no matter how good I did at something. I felt it wasn't good enough and that I needed to be better so that my dad would love me or my stepdad would love me. Will he because he
Mm-hmm.
just showed his approval more when I was successful at things.
Right.
So when I wasn't, the approval wasn't there, and that made me no less worthy. But as a child, you kind of relate the accolades with I'm doing good, I must be loved. And then when it's
Right.
not there, oh my gosh, I'm not doing good, I must not be loved, or at least that's what I went through.
Mm.
Um,
A
so
lot of people have
yeah,
gone through that. Yeah.
yeah. And now the things that have really make me feel proud of and play into my self-worth are when I am able to be a good mom or a good grandma or a good sister or a good daughter, all the things I felt I had quote unquote messed up in my life, now I'm able to do it. And those
Wh-
really give me a sense of pride and good self-worth.
I'm curious about what good, how you define good and what that looks like for you.
So, you know, for me, I can go two ways with this because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you're a mother, to me, a good mother versus a bad mother, if
Mm.
there are things that are possibly harming your child, and we're not just talking about day-to-day things. Like for me, when I had my we'll talk about my second daughter. When I had
Mm-hmm.
her, I
Mm-hmm.
was not in a healthy space. I
Mm-hmm.
was really into drinking and doing extracurricular drug activity to try to keep myself up and going so I could work two full-time jobs. Plus, I was
Mm-hmm.
going to college. And I notice now that I neglected the times that my daughter needed me. In the moment, I didn't think I was doing that. I thought I was trying to become better for us to give us a better life. But
Yeah.
now that I've hit the wise age of 53, I can look back and say, none of that stuff really matters. In the end, we all die anyway, and you ain't taking your money with you. So while stability is nice, I missed being there for her.
Mm.
And technically, I feel like I neglected her a lot. And so that's what I mean, get good versus bad.
Okay.
It wasn't
Yeah.
anything so bad like she was abused or anything, but I mean, neglect is abuse. It's emotional
Well,
abuse.
it, yeah. I mean, neglect is considered abuse, and the if you're to look at the definition. With that being said, there's variants of that. I mean, there are various levels of that. As you know, we know extreme abuse, and I know
Oh,
we've
absolutely.
experienced that. And then there's the neglect, which is it's with basically what we went through as kids. Because after my father passed, my mom wasn't there.
Right.
She checked out and was raising four kids with no money.
I think
That was tough on
what
her
we went through and then
and
what
us.
our parents went through and what their parents went through, it's
Mm-hmm.
almost like it was generationally passed down.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just finally now getting into the place where we sit with kids and we talk to them and we find out what they're thinking and what they're feeling.
Right.
I was raised in the sit down, shut up, you're a kid, don't speak until spoken to.
Mm-hmm.
And that always made me feel not seen, not heard, not loved, not good enough, not, it just made me feel not. And then I went on to do that with my
It's
child. Go to your room, go play with your toys. Where now I sit down with my granddaughter and we play together.
oh,
And to
that's
me, that
beautiful.
brings me so much self-worth because
Mm-hmm.
that's what I should have been doing with my daughter. That's what, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
also hard when you're a mom and you're trying to, it's different when you're a grandma.
it's different when you're a grandma for sure, but also you have to remember where you were developmentally then and
Mhm.
where you are developmentally now.
Yeah, no, I definitely have gotten through a lot of that guilt and worked through
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it. But I can just say, that is something that really makes me feel proud of myself is how much work I've done the last 7 years
Yeah.
to recoup and go
Mm.
back in and be here and be who I really truly am. That is building my self-worth.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. Oh my gosh. Well, we did
yes.
pretty good on all these questions. So it looks like, I mean, we're looking at time and I don't want to cut you off because what we just talked about was pretty powerful, especially that last 10, 15 minutes. Everything that we talked about today.
Yes. No, 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 no. I
Um,
don't feel cut off at all. I
You
know
want
we're
to
talking
do,
about trying to make these a little shorter. So, did you want to
yeah.
do the reading now
Yeah, we could
or?
do a reading. And we could do the reading now instead of, we're just kind of trying things a little different. How about that?
Okay,
And so let me go through so we're going to read out of this is the Codependence Anonymous
okay.
reader. And I find it to be very helpful. So December 4th. And choose to do whatever you want with this. You can close your eyes, you can listen, you can journal after if you like. In this moment, I create. Ooh, in this moment, I create. Instead of concentrating on what's wrong with my life, I focus on what's right. I recognize progress as I work on the areas I still need to improve. I ask myself, what do I love? So that my consciousness works towards creating more positive experiences in my life. I believe that whatever I focus on is what I create in my life, even on a subconscious level. I replace negative thoughts and mind chatter with love, encouragement, and wisdom. I am grateful to have the honesty, openness, and willingness necessary to work my recovery program.
I love that. I love that. And anybody watching, you may or may not be in recovery. Melissa and I are not specifically working a 12-step program, but we do use a lot of Al-Anon or
Mm-hmm.
some of like we're working the fourth step blueprint for progress right now because we find the tools helpful. We find that
Mm-hmm.
they allow us to dive into ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. So, would you like to send us out with some kind of grounding ending, or what are your thoughts about what you want
I
to do
can
next?
definitely pull a card for us if you want. I do know.
I like the
Um,
cards.
after having my day where I had to decide whether I was going to choose faith over fear, and I did decide I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to. I
Mm-hmm.
pulled some cards, and it was crazy. The cards I pulled were so telling. I pulled like the
Mm.
Chariot card, which is going forward, strong, succeeding, and I was like, yes, I chose right. So that
Okay,
was
so
nice.
it's going to be interesting to see what comes up for us now.
Yes, yes, yes. So that was a different card deck. I am going to be pulling from the Colette Baron Reed card, Wisdom of the Oracle today, and we are going to just see what message comes to us.
That's the
All
one
right.
you chose out last time. I really like that deck. Nice
Yes,
illustrations and messaging for sure.
yes. I absolutely love her. All of most of her cards, I have almost all of them, and I just
Okay.
love her ability to share the message in a way that's really talking. So really talking to my soul. Funny,
Mm.
I was about to say really talking to my soul, and then I looked down at the card and it says soulmate. So that's why I stopped. It's like that was weird. So the
Oh,
card is soulmates, and it is two penguins kind of snuggled in together there.
oh, they're partners for life.
They are partners for life because they only pick once, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes. All
Yeah.
right.
Did you want to see something? This is what I got for my anniversary.
No way!
This
I love
anniversary,
that. What a fitting gift.
and it's because penguins meet. They're together for life.
Oh, that reminds me of Happy Feet. Little Happy
Ah,
Feet.
happy feet. It's squishy too.
I love it. All right, this says, you are meant to evolve and transform with the companionship of others. Certain
Mm-hmm.
people enter into your life in order to take you to the next level of healing, consciousness, and authenticity. It is always a reciprocal experience, although the results for each of you might vary. You know these people by the strong pull drawing you towards them, and sometimes by a strong aversion to them initially, too. Soulmates can be friends for life or remain in your life for only a short time. No matter what, you will be changed in ways you can't possibly fathom now. Pay attention to these people today. They are your greatest gift. Ah, I love that.
Oh, that's so
I love that so much. And,
wonderful.
they say that it is being in relationships, whether it's friendships or any type of that's where we grow. And that's the whole
Mm.
purpose of relationships. And I've grown so much since I've met you, Melissa. I
I've
thank
grown a lot
you for your time.
too. So, gosh, I mean, we're doing pretty good with these questions. We have our next session is checking myself,
Yes.
and we might want to break it into 2 sessions. I'm not sure, but we'll see how we do.
Okay, sounds good.
How's
Well, it was
that?
nice with everybody here today. Please feel free to comment if you would like us to do more on the grounding meditation videos, or if you would like us to possibly do some journaling with you. Let us know down below. And
Yeah,
thank you for
we're
being here
open.
with us today.
Thanks for having us, and we'll talk to you another time.